welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about dreams, what would you rather, and an interesting story about a young lady and a tattoo. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. I want to talk about dreams, but before I talk about dreams, we are rapidly approaching our 200th episode. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, but our 200th episode is rapidly approaching. It's going to happen in 2025, but really early in 2025. Really excited about it. Can't wait for the 200th episode. Don't know what I'm going to do yet to be special about it, but we're going to try and make it special somehow, some way. It'll definitely be a sibling happy hour, so don't worry. My sister will be on there to celebrate. I want to give you guys a heads up. We're about to run into a holiday, Thanksgiving. So we're going to be doing this show and then releasing the sibling happy hour on Tuesday. And then we're going to be taking a brief hiatus, but we will be back December the 6th. So we won't be releasing shows on November the 29th. And I believe December the 2nd or 3rd, but we will be back December the 6th. Stay out of my DMs, stay out of the emails. We're going to give you shows, I promise. If you miss us, go on our YouTube page. We'll be posting YouTube exclusive stuff during this brief hiatus because it's real brief. It's only 2 shows, right? It's literally a week. That's what we're doing. We're just taking a week break. But YouTube, there'll be YouTube exclusive stuff on there for all you people that are missing our podcast. Dreams. I had a crazy one last night. So last night I had a dream, and this is a reoccurring dream. This dream happens once a month, guaranteed. It may be more frequently than that, but it's definitely guaranteed once a month. And in this dream, I am back in high school and I'm on the basketball team like I was in high school. And there's a game that's about to start and I cannot find my jersey and my uniform. Like, can't find it. Cannot find it. And I know I'm going to ball out. I know I'm going to ball, but I cannot find my uniform. Last night in particular, I couldn't find my uniform, nor could I find my shoes. Actually, I did find my shoes. Eventually, I found my shoes in the dream, but they had a hole in it. And I was like, I can't play with these holy shoes. So I was thinking, like, what does this all mean? You know, they say a lot of times your dreams don't mean anything. Sometimes they say that they do mean something. So I decided to look it up and talk about what your dreams could possibly mean. You know, we express how important mental health is on this show almost every single episode. And realistically, when you're having dreams of you're back in high school or you're late for a class or you forgot to turn in your homework, or we all have those type of dreams. We all have those type of dreams. There is a deeper meaning in these dreams that I'm going to decode. Now, how did I decode it? Well, I focused on 2 books and then articles, right? So I focused on The Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud. I know Freud is an interesting character, but a lot of what Freud be saying is true. A lot of it. I'm going to tell y'all that I married a woman that was almost exactly like my mom. Like almost exactly like my mom. It freaked me the hell out. One day I woke up and I was like, I'm married to my mom. And, you know, my sister often talks about the people that she dates resembles our father, you know? And so like Freud had something, you know, he was on to something when he was talking about stuff. So he wrote a book called The Interpretation of Dreams. That's where I got some of this source material from. Carl Jung also wrote a book, Man and His Symbols. Now, it wasn't gender specific. He just, you know, these are old school books and they just use man as in the entirety of the human race, including men and women. And then I took, you know, different articles from the American Psychological Association for that they, did publishing for research and dream analysts. And basically what it comes down to is dreams about missing school and the school bus or class are surprisingly common among adults. These types of dreams are often linked to underlying feelings of anxiety, stress, or unresolved issues from the past. I'm just going to touch on what I consider the four main reasons why we have these type of dreams. The first one is stress and anxiety. More specifically, deadlines, responsibilities, and performance anxiety. Adults often face various pressures and responsibilities such as work deadlines, family commitments, and financial concerns. These pressures can manifest in dreams as scenarios where they are unprepared or running late. Dreams about missing a class or being unprepared for an exam can reflect concerns about performance in real life situations, such as work, presentations, or important meetings. So, stress and anxiety. Like, okay, if you're stressed out or anxious about something, these dreams may occur. And yeah, there isn't typically a direct correlation, right? Like, you can't pinpoint it most of the time. That's the reason why it's going back to previous instances where you would feel this type of stress or anxiety. And so I'm just trying to think about what in my life is going on right now that I would feel stress or anxiety. Well, work is always a stressor. It's the end of the year. I got to meet more than a few deadlines. And so, yeah, also gearing up for the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year is a big time of year for my company. Actually, it's a misnomer in fitness that fitness begins, the push begins on New Year's. That's not true. What ends up happening is people start to get into fitness. The ones that are going to be serious about it and stay for a while, they start to gear up before the holidays. So it starts right around the middle of October as they say to themselves, all right, I need to start on the right path here before the holidays hit because I don't want to start behind the 8 ball at the beginning of the year. Right. So you get a push up until New Year's, then you get a push after New Year's. Right. And then you get another push in the middle of February towards the beginning of March. Those are all the people that had made their New Year's resolutions, but didn't do it at New Year's. So they're coming back. And then there's another push right before the summer starts. So there are busy periods. It's not all New Year's resolution. As a matter of fact, the majority of the time, the New Year's resolutioners, like 75% of them actually fail. The ones that actually stick to their health and wellness plans are the ones that actually start right before the holidays around this time period, and the ones that actually start in right before the summer. They tend to stick with it and go. So yeah, work could be part of a thing, and I got deadlines and I got meetings that I'm doing, but I don't feel like it is super stressful right now. So what could be some of the other reasons why I might have issues and might be having these type of dreams? Or for those people out there, why you might be having issues and might be having these type of dreams? Unresolved issues, more specifically, past experiences and insecurity. School is a significant part of many people's life experience. From that time can leave a lasting impression. Dreams about school might resurface unresolved feelings or conflicts from the period. These dreams can also reflect a sense of insecurity or fear of failure that originated during school years, but still affects the person in adulthood. All right, I'm going to be completely transparent here. I have imposter syndrome, way worse than a lot of normal people. I know I've been told by therapists, I got it. I always feel like I am pulling the wool over somebody's eyes. No matter how skilled or knowledgeable I am in whatever I'm doing, I always feel like I'm pulling the wool over somebody's eyes. Now, let's talk about the dream that I had with basketball. I've told the story of, my high school basketball career. I moved to different schools, played at 3 different high schools. One was a prestigious high school. I didn't stay at that high school. I went to another high school, and my end of my high school basketball career was less than ideal. Some people would say, and it's only one, Some people would say that I was never as good as I thought I was. Other people would say that I didn't live up to my talent. I would say I didn't love basketball. I really liked basketball. And when I say that to my mom and dad, they can't comprehend it because they were like, you worked so hard in basketball to accomplish these goals. I don't understand how you say you didn't love it. And I tell them, you just said the key word there, goals. I had certain goals. So when I set a goal, my personality is to do everything in my power until I accomplish the goal. Get no satisfaction from accomplishing the goal, but work so hard to accomplish the goal. So I left some stuff on the table when it came to basketball, because by the beginning of my senior year, I said, I don't even want to play college basketball. I don't know if I want to finish out this year. And just I just went through the motions. Like my boy would tell you, like I didn't go to Saturday morning practices, like just didn't go. I should have been kicked off the team, like just did not go. And so there's a part of me that I don't really look back to the past that often. You know, what was done and I kind of move forward. But there is something that I left at the table I didn't leave it all on the floor, in other words. Like, there were times where I could close my eyes and replay games. It was just like, yo, why did I not care and did not give any effort? The older version of me would say, hey, man, give it your all because you don't know when that last dribble is going to be your last dribble. And though I didn't love basketball, I mean, there were times where I was in love with it. There's a difference, right? So people out there in relationships, you can be in love with somebody and then you can love somebody. You can fall out of love. You pretty much never stop loving somebody. It's a deeper feeling, right? I love my ex-wife. Haven't spoken to her for years, but I love her because I want her to do well. I want her to succeed. I want her to be happy. I am nowhere near still in love with my ex-wife. She can walk into this room right now. I'd be like, hey, woman, why you interrupting me doing my podcast? That's what I'm saying to her. But like, I'm no longer in love with her. So I was in love with basketball. I didn't love basketball. But at the same time, I didn't give it my all. And so there might be a little bit of regret there. Another one of the key reasons why people may have these dreams or why I may have had this dream last night was symbolism, learning, growth, and control. School is a place of learning and growth, and dreaming about it may symbolize a current phase of personal development or desire for self-improvement. Missing a bus or a class in a dream can symbolize feeling out of control in one's waking life. It might reflect a fear of missing out on opportunities or not meeting expectations. So, I mean, there's definitely that control thing with not meeting expectations when it goes back to me playing basketball. And I'm always trying to self-improve, so that would make sense. But we still haven't figured out what would be the pinpoint of the reason that I had this dream. What's going on in my life that I would have this dream? Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I think I figured it out, but I'm going to tell you after I finish explaining the fourth phase, which is routine and familiarity. Since school is a familiar setting for many people, it can become a common theme in dreams. These dreams often use familiar scenarios to represent broader emotional states or concerns. These dreams are often a way for the subconscious mind to process and make sense of stressors and emotions. They are usually not literal, but rather symbolic representations of underlying feelings. In these dreams are frequent or particularly distressing. It might help to explore an ongoing stress or unresolved issues in your waking life. Okay, so like I said, it's about once a month, right? They don't really cause me a whole lot of stress, right? It's not a stressor. I find it interesting. I guess in the moment in the dream, I'm stressed, but when I wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. So much so that I had this dream, woke up in the middle of the night, and I was thinking that would be an interesting topic to talk about. So scrap the whole first intro, the first segment that I was doing today, jotted down in my half sleep to make sure that I talk about this because I know that I've talked to other people and everybody can relate. So now, what is it that I came to the conclusion? What is it going on in my life that has caused this these dreams of feeling like I'm unprepared, feeling like I'm missing out on something. I don't know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. It's the show. So this show is growing. Like I said, we're about to hit our 200th episode. If you're watching on YouTube, there's more production. I'm learning more things as far as the post-production and just improving the overall quality of the show. I'm ambitious, extremely ambitious in life in general. And I've set new goals. With each 10 or 15 episodes, there's new goals. There's new things to attain. And when you get close to accomplishing a goal and you set another one, well, that adds on some worry, some anxiety. Am I going to accomplish this goal? And so there are some things that are going to be happening in 2025 that's going to be surrounding around the show that I've already started planning that I'm not going to let you in on the secret yet. I will release that information when it happens, but there are things that are happening that I'm excited about, but in that excitement can be some anxiety. And once again, I don't have complete control, nor do I want complete control. I have complete control of what the content of the show is. I have complete control of when things go out and what's being seen. I don't have control of how it's received. It's been received very well. Like I said, we've grown. We have, I don't even know how to say this, 15 times multiplied our subscriber list on YouTube 15 times from what it was at this time last year. Like, growth is crazy. The streams on our audio is crazy. We're doing fantastic work. And I should be proud. I should be. And there's a piece of me that is. But there's also that ambitious side of me that says new goal. Y'all hear it in the family. You hear it with my sister. My sister's in grad school right now. She's got a new goal. She is busting her ass in grad school. Now, there's a lot of people that's been out there in grad school, but she's also dealing with a new puppy and she's got other responsibilities. She's also doing this show. There's a lot going on. We tend to do that in our family, set these goals, lofty goals, accomplish them the majority of the time. I would say our success rate as a family, as a 5-member group, my mom, dad, me, my brother, and sister, it's about 90% of accomplish our goals, which is pretty freaking phenomenal. Also, when we set these goals, they're so lofty that we add stressors to our lives. Now, what was the whole point of me opening up, revealing what's going on inside of me? As we are getting into the holiday season, y'all are going to be dealing with stressors. We just got out of a whole election campaign, and some of my friends, some of my dear friends, are going to be spending time with their family. And they voted on different sides of the aisle. And it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety that some of them, when I talk to, are not really dealing with it. They are trying to avoid it, when I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing in the world to do. I wish them the best because I know me, I cut off all Trump supporters. Anybody that voted for Trump this election, I don't want nothing to do with you. On a personal level, 9 times out of 10 on a professional level as well. Like, I just don't want anything to do with you. You just don't rock the way I rock. You move different than I move. And this isn't a situation where just because we move different, we can be cool. This moving different is so drastic that we just have different principles of life. And that's the way it is. But people are dealing with a lot of stress coming out of this election, coming out of the incoming president's cabinet's picks, dealing with family and the holidays, which is always a stressful time. I want everybody out there. Maybe you're having these type of dreams, maybe you're not. Fortunately for me, I'm going to be seeing my family this holiday season, and I'm looking forward to it because that's where there are no stressors. But for some of you people out there that are going to be seeing your family members that you disagree with on principles, and it might be your father, you might be a woman, and your father voted for Trump, and you're like, you literally voted against me, but you say that you love me. I know I have some friends that are like that have this situation going into the holidays. It's a stressful time for them. Take a deep breath, take one foot in front of the other, and move forward. That's all we can do in life. If it becomes too stressful, obviously, seek help. If you're having these type of dreams all the time, seek help. Like I said, I have it once a month, and it's always when there's a lot of stuff going on, and I got a lot of stuff going on right now, but it's all positive. There's nothing negative going on. It's just a lot. And so I'm planning things out. As my sister says, I'm meticulous. So that's the reason why this dream came up. I don't want to get caught off guard and be unprepared. I don't want to not have some form of control of what is going on within my life. I know we don't have complete control, and I'm not a control freak, but to have no control is scary. There are some people out there that have no control over how certain family members are going to speak to them and act towards them for the holidays. And this is causing great streer. Oh, not streer. I don't know what streer is. Great stress and fear. That's what streer is. Streer is stress and fear merged together. Good God, ladies and gentlemen. I will mess up some words in a minute. But like I said, take a deep breath, one foot ahead of the other. And remember, if it's an overwhelming, stressful situation, you ain't got to enter it. Well, you don't have to. Your mental health and your peace is the most important thing. And if other people can't respect it, to hell with them, no matter who they are. Because at the end of the day, your mental health and well-being is literally the most important thing to you. So look out for yourself. In the words of Carmine Lupertazzi from The Sopranos, take care of yourself. Be a better friend to yourself. Take a deep breath, put one foot in front of the other, go forward and live your life. Okay, all right. That was pretty heavy for a first segment, but as I was going through this, waking up this morning, going through that in my head before I recorded this, I felt like it would resonate with everybody out there that are going through some things. Just know you're not alone. I'm here with you. And if you have them dreams, it means something. You might want to figure out what it means. But to lighten up the mood, I want to play a game. Would you rather? We've all played this game before, and I got 3 interesting scenarios of would you rather. Now, when I saw these scenarios, y'all are going to have to bear with me because I'm going to be responding to them in real time. And I don't know where my answers are going to go. I literally do not know what I'm going to say this segment. Typically, when I record these shows, I have a framework, an idea of where I'm going in that particular segment. I know what the questions are of Would You Rather. I don't know, as I work this out live, as you are listening to me, where my mind and heart is going to take me. Okay, let's go with the first scenario. Would you rather give up social media or streaming services for a year? Wow. I would say that I'm addicted to social media. Absolutely addicted to social media. That I am always on Instagram. I'm not really on TikTok that much. I used to be on Twitter a lot. Now I'm on Blue Sky. Y'all can catch me on Blue Sky. That's where I'm at right now. And I try to get into Threads, but Threads, I can't follow Threads. Like I can't follow the actual threads of the Threads. But I love social media. You know what else I love? My streaming services. Now, if it was all streaming services, no, I can't give up. Because then what am I watching on TV? If you say I'm giving up streaming services, that means I can't watch TV because I don't have cable. I haven't had cable since 2012, and that was only DirecTV. And the only reason why I had DirecTV is because I needed the Sunday NFL ticket because that's when I was still into football. Other than that, I don't need cable. So everything I do is streaming service: Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Now you're telling me I got to give up either my social media or my streaming service. This is a tough, tough scenario. On one hand, if I gave up social media and just stuck with the streaming services, my mental health would be a lot better because social media, for the most part, is damaging to your mental health. I mean, it really is. There's been studies done to it. It's a cesspool. It's not good. But if I got rid of streaming services, I'm going to be bored. I can't even watch wrestling. Raw is going to be on Netflix. All the pay-per-views are on Peacock. Those are streaming services. I couldn't watch wrestling. So what's my answer? Which one would I choose? Which one would you choose? I would love to hear what you guys would pick. Some of you people are like, I'm not really into social media, so it's not that big of a deal. Some people are like, I don't really watch that much TV. It's not that big of a deal. Look, let me tell you something. I love Power. That's on Stars, right? Like, I can't give up Power. I guess I figured out the answer. Social media got to go. I'd probably still sneak and get on social media because I don't think I could give up either one for a full year. It'd be easier if there was some money involved. You're just talking about just give it up. You give me some money, I could give up a lot of things. But yeah, I would have to choose social media, and I would be healthier and happier giving up social media as opposed to my streaming services. I need my wrestling. I need my Tulsa King. I love that show. If y'all haven't watched Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone, that's a great show. I need my Power. Superman and Lois is about to end, so I can get that up. But I need Invincible from Amazon Prime. I don't really watch The Boys because that's too gory for me. I don't really like it all that much. You know, they got new stuff coming out. Creature Commandos coming out for Disney, not Disney Plus, for HBO Max. You know, The Penguin just ended. That was a great show. Yeah, I'm giving up social media. All social media does is rev up my anxiety and turn me into a creep because I'm always looking at these IG models. Okay, on to the next scenario. Would you rather have a time machine that could go only to the past, or a device that could translate any language? So, would you rather have a time machine that can only go into the past, or a device that can translate any language? So you got a time machine. It can't go into the future, but it can go into the past. Or an instrument that can translate any language. This is not going to be really difficult for me. I'm going with the time machine. Yeah, I'm going with the time machine. To go back to the past. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Well, yes. Okay. I would go back. Yes. Okay. I'm choosing the time machine, not the device that could translate any languages, because actually I think that's coming anyway, relatively soon. We already have Google Translate on these new Google phone models, and then Apple is coming up with something similar. So we're literally going to have a device that's going to translate languages into real time fairly shortly. So plus that doesn't really, like, I don't travel. I should be traveling more. I do want to go over to Europe. I want to go to Italy and France. I do want to do that. But, you know, other than that, I mean, I can speak a little bit of Spanish, so I'm not really tripping on that. But having a time machine to go back into the past, because what I would do is something simple, what everybody would do. I would go tell the younger version of myself who's going to win the Super Bowl so he can go to Vegas and make bets. And then I would choose 1 or 2 Mega Millions or Powerballs to win. Like if I go back to my 18-year-old self, I'd win the Mega Millions, and then on my 35-year-old self, I win the Powerball, like something like that, on top of all the betting. So basically, I'd be rich. Would I go back and tell my younger self not to make certain decisions? Yes, I would. I would go back and tell my younger self, hey, man, you didn't need to put no spinners on no truck. Oh, better yet, you didn't need to put that sound system in that truck. Oh, you didn't need to tint the windows to that truck. All that stopped becoming cool by 2004. Now that was cool after that point. Hey, man, you don't need those gold chains. You don't need a specially designed Superman chain with the Superman emblem with a B instead of an S in the middle. You don't need that. Certain things you bought and made money on, certain things you bought and lost money on, you didn't need to do. Guess what? At the age of 26, 25, 26, 27, you don't need to go to the strip club every Monday just because you got ridiculous amounts of cash because you're a bartender. You don't need to go to the strip club every Monday. You know what you could do? You could take all that money that you're spending at the strip club every Monday, because it's a lot, put that in a bank account, savings account to be exact. Let that money bubble up and then go buy you a place. That's what you could do. Hey, you know what? You ain't have to mess with that girl. You could have left her alone. Hey, you know what? That one girl that you really liked that you didn't say nothing to, you should have said something. She hit you up later after she was married and was like, hey, yeah, I had a real huge crush on you back in the day. And you ain't do nothing. With that time machine, I can go back and change some things. Who knows where my life would be? You know, another thing that I would do, go start this podcast earlier. I would go back to myself in 2019 and I would say, hey, Bruce, why don't you start a podcast? I don't know how to do it. Let me teach you. Be 5 years in the game right now. Be deep in the game. Yes, so there were things that, no regrets. But if I had a time machine and I could change some stuff, some stuff that I would change. I think everybody would change it. Plus, it'd just be cool to go back in time to like I knew my grandparents. Like I knew my grandparents, right? Like I was of age. My first grandparent didn't pass away until I was 16. So I knew them, but I didn't know them. You know, it would have been real dope to go back in time to see what they were like in high school, middle school, as kids, as grown adults, instead of hearing these stories firsthand, you know, from my dad or my aunt and uncles, to just hear it and to like be there with that person. That'd be real dope. It'd be real dope to go back in time and meet some of my great grandparents. I wouldn't go too far back because, you know, you go too far back, you know, I'm a black man in America. You go too far back, might put myself in a situation I might not be able to get out of. Maybe I don't get to the time machine just in time before the overseer try to catch me. I mean, that's a realistic problem. It's a realistic problem. So, but it'd be cool to go back and see, I don't know, what was New York City like during the Harlem Renaissance? I would love to go back and see that. What was Chicago like when Al Capone was running the streets? You know, so what was it like during the Black Panther Party movement in the 60s in Oakland? You know, so there would be, me being a historian, I would go back in time and like observe these things that I've read about and just be immersed in that. So this was an easy one. We are eventually coming with devices that will be able to translate languages within an instant. We already kind of have them. They're only going to get better and more sophisticated. So I could care less about that because I don't really be talking to a lot of people that don't speak the languages that I speak anyway. But the ability to go back in time, back to the future, like Marty McFly, and just, even if it wasn't to change anything, even if it was, the rules were you go back in time, but you can't alter anything about your life. There were some times I would just want to go back and relive. You know, there are moments in my life that I would definitely just love to go back and relive. And there are things that happened in history that I would just love to go back and observe. So this one was an easy one. It wasn't as hard as choosing social media or streaming service. This one was real easy. I'm choosing that time machine, whether I can make money out of it or not, because the benefit of just reliving past events in my own life or observing historical events it's too much to pass up. All right, so we're going to do one final one. Would you rather? And please, in the comments, tell me which one you would rather. I want to hear from you guys. I think it's really dope to find out, you know, what other people think. Maybe there are other things about these scenarios that I didn't even think of. Enlighten me. I love learning. So, and I love hearing other people's perspective. And this is solicited, not unsolicited. So I want to hear your solicited perspective. But on to the third and final scenario. Would you rather live in a world without smartphones or a world without cars? Now, when I first read this, I was like, oh, it's easy. It's cars, because I don't have a car anymore. Where I live, I don't need a car. I tell people all the time, look, Ubers can get me where I want to go. I'm not far from public transit, not far from the metro that take me just about anywhere in DC that's within walking distance that I want to get to. I can even take a train to both of my parents where they live. I'm always drinking, so there's no drinking and driving, so I don't need a car anyway. So I was like, oh, easy. No cars. I'm gonna go with smartphones. Cause we kind of need smartphones. And then I thought about it. No, we don't. I grew up in a world where there were no smartphones. I cannot grow up in a world where there are no cars. Cause even though you got these public transportation, like it's not all the way across the world. I think there is a train that you could take from the East Coast to the West Coast, but I don't want to do that. And I don't want to be in control. I don't want somebody else being in control of my entire trip. Sometimes you want to just get in the car and go somewhere. Y'all don't remember this because this is before any of us were ever born. But before there was cars, people was on horse and buggy. It took forever to get places. It took forever. But there was a time when we didn't have smartphones. There was a time when we just had cell phones. There was a time where cameras weren't even on cell phones. It was a cell phone to just call. I'm talking about even before texting. And you know what? We lived life easily without smartphones. We've become addicted and attached to their smartphones. But let me ask any of you a question out there. Has there ever been a time that your cell phone stopped working or you broke it or anything like that, and you couldn't get a new cell phone quickly? In other words, you had to wait a day or two before you could get a cell phone. So you were without a cell phone for a couple of days. How'd you feel? For me, the initial feeling is anxiety. Oh my God, there are so many people trying to get a hold of me that can't get a hold of me. After that fades, which is like a couple of hours, when I realize it's really not that big of a deal, I say to myself, oh my God, there's a bunch of people trying to get a hold of me that can't get a hold of me. This is great. I can pick and choose when I want to interact with somebody. With a smartphone, everybody knows if they send you a text, you see the text. I hate when people say, oh, I missed your text. You didn't miss my text. You saw my text and forgot about it, but you didn't miss my text because you're on your phone, because everybody is on their phone all the time because we're addicted to smartphones. But there was a world for all my Gen Zs and my Gen Alphas, the few Gen Alphas that might be listening to the show, which, by the way, if you're a Gen Alpha, you better have gotten permission from your mom and dad before you listen to this show, because we be cussing sometimes on this show. And we be talking about mature subject matter. You should understand it, but you should learn about it, but with the cassette from your parents. But Gen Z and Gen Alpha, there was a time where we were free. And you might say to yourself, what the hell are you talking about, Bruce? What do you mean free? We were free from the attachments of others. We were free to just sit in the house and not be bothered because nobody could get a hold of us if we didn't want them to get a hold of us. And I guess, technically you could still do that. You could put your smartphone away. And I do it a lot. I have started to put my smartphone away. And when those notifications go off, I'll get to it when I get up. I get to it. If it's an emergency, then I'll know because there'll be certain notification sounds. But other than that, I'll get to it when I get to it. But there was a time when we would get to it. There was a time where we had to either call or page our friends to call us to let us know where we was going to go meet up. Or we already had prearranged plans. You look, we're going to meet at the mall. We're going to meet at the mall at 3:00. We're going to meet at the arcade, or we're going to meet at the convenience store, or we're going to meet at the shoe, or we're going to meet at Foot Locker. We're going to meet somewhere at this time. Everybody be there. That was a good time. And you're going to get there when you get there. If you're late, you're late, but you're going to get there when you get there. There was freedom of not being attached to other people that we just don't have anymore. We're attached. People don't have vacations anymore. Think about it. Back in the day, for those people that are old enough, remember when our parents used to go on vacation? They was on vacation. You couldn't get a hold of them. Their job could not get a hold of them. Nowadays, a lot of my friends had these jobs where, they're attached to their phone, and then the office can get to you no matter where you are. They can shoot you an email, they can shoot you a text, they can shoot you a WhatsApp so you're never on vacation. And I have some friends of mine that are bosses. And, they tell these Gen Z people, hey, look, just because you're on vacation doesn't mean that you don't answer my email. And these Gen Z people are like, the hell I am? I'm on vacation. No, you need to be ready. Why? Because that's the way that we came up as Gen X and millennials. Nah, Gen Z is like, look, vacation is vacation. That's what I'm going to take. We used to be like that, and we're not like that anymore. So I could give up a smartphone. I can't give up no cars because even though I don't have one, I can always get one if I need to go on a trip. Sometimes you want to just rent a car and just drive, I don't know where. I might drive to Philly in a couple of weeks just cause. Philly is only 3 hours away from me, and I ain't never really been. Just a stopover on my way to Atlantic City. I kind of want to check out Philly. I never had a Philly cheesesteak. I want a Philly cheesesteak. I want to try both of them, the Geno's and the other one or whatever. I want to try both of them. I want to go down to the land. I want to see the Rocky statue. I want to run up the stairs. I'm not going to run real fast because my knees hurt, but I want to run up the stairs. I want to enjoy life. So I need a car to be able to do that. Can public transportation get me there? Yeah, I guess so. But maybe I just want to hop in the car and go. So I can give it to smartphones. Smartphones have been literally the death of us. Technology is good. Sometimes technology is bad. And smartphone, hey, look, I love my phone. I'm connected to things that I need to do. Things are quicker. But also, I would love to have that peace again of not having a smartphone. But I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. These were all scenarios that I wanted to hear what you thought. And y'all heard what I thought. And I did this in real time, planned it out. Said what I needed to say, tell y'all what my position was on each one. So just to be clear, I would give up social media and keep streaming services. I'm definitely taking that time machine, and I don't need that device that translate all different languages. And I'm definitely giving up smartphones to keep cars. What would you do? But up next, we're going to be talking about another what would you do with a bad tattoo. Tattoos. Some people have them, some people don't. I have 3 very, very close dear friends. One, my bestie, got a lot of tattoos. My other 2 friends don't have one. I don't have a lot. I've got, 4 or 5 kind of big pieces, nothing small. I'm going to get more. I go back and forth on which ones that I want. My dad has a tattoo. My mom has several tattoos. My sister has tattoos. My brother does not. He will not get tattoos. I respect my brother a lot. He remains principled in his stance on things and will not budge. But the theory is absolutely true. I don't know if you could call it a theory anymore. I'm going to call it a fact. If you get one tattoo, you definitely want to get more tattoos. The most important thing when getting a tattoo is really doing the research on the artist and the shop that you're going to be getting your tattoos from. Really doing the research about what design that you want, because even though there is a tattoo removal procedure that you can do, it's painful and there's still something kind of left there and you don't want to have to go through that. So you want to decide on a tattoo because it's the rest of your life. It's permanent, that you're going to really enjoy. But like I said, the artist is so very, very important. Can some artists draw freehand on you and then tattoo over the freehand? Yeah. A lot of times you're bringing them a design, they stencil it, put the ink on your arm and then tattoo the stencil, right? It's kind of like tracing. That's exactly what it is. It's tracing. Most of the time you don't get a bad tattoo when you use a stencil and they're tracing. I recently got a tattoo and it's okay. I like it. It's not bad. I went to a different artist. I wasn't as happy with the tattoo as I was with the previous artist. So I'm just going to stick with my tattoo artist. But the person that took me to the tattoo artist rocks with that tattoo artist and is happy with every tattoo that they got from that tattoo artist. Just sometimes, just like it's like anything in relationships, sometimes it just doesn't vibe the way you want it to. I'm not disappointed in my tattoo. I think it's cool. It's just like this one little part of it that I wished it could be improved. And I might go back to this tattoo artist to go improve this little piece. But why am I bringing this up? Because tattoo experiences really determine if you're going to continue on to get tattoos. A bad experience and a bad tattoo, oh man, that could really ruin a lot of things. And luckily for me, I don't have any bad tattoos. Even the tattoo that I'm not super ecstatic about, like my other ones, I'm still not disappointed in. It still looks dope. Other people are telling me, oh yeah, the tattoo looks dope. And I was like, okay, it's cool. It's just not the standard of which I'm used to, but it's still dope. But I don't have any bad tattoos. And I've seen people that have bad tattoos. Sometimes you can get those tattoos covered up. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just so bad that you stuck with a bad tattoo. And also, ladies and gentlemen, when you get a tattoo when you're young, realize that your body will change and you need to look at it and determine the best that you can. How is your body as you get older going to translate with this tattoo? Luckily, my tattoos pretty much stay the same because my body has pretty much stayed the same over the last, I don't know, 15 years. Nothing has really changed. But for some other people, things change. And then once again, some other people get bad tattoo experiences. I took my mom for her birthday to get her very first tattoo. I was there with her. It was a good experience for her. So much so that she went to the same artist. The artist that has done the most work for me has also done all the work for my mom and 3 of my cousins. Like, we just adore her as an artist. My mom has gone to go get more tattoos without me because she's had such a good experience. But I made sure to take her to a place where she would have a good experience. Kind of like when you suggest a restaurant. You're not going to suggest a bad restaurant. You're like, oh, this food is good. You should go here. So why am I bringing all this up? I was on Reddit because now that we're doing this Am I a Jerk segments that I actually really enjoy, I've fallen down rabbit holes of just seeing like stories that people post on Reddit. Reddit was another social media site that I kind of knew about, but didn't really know about because I never went on there. And damn, I might have to revisit getting rid of my social media or the streaming services because Reddit is I'm kind of addicted to Reddit now. So I don't know. Maybe. Let's move on. So here's a Reddit story of a person having a not so great experience with a tattoo artist. And then I'm going to respond to this story the best way I know how, with my condescension and bit of humor that I typically respond with everything. All right, here we go. This is a young lady that went to go get a tattoo from a male artist. Weird question. Not sure if this is the right place to post. It is. It's Reddit. I paid an artist upfront for 2 sessions for a tattoo, which was $800. The artist did the first session and is now refusing to do the second session. And the shop won't contact me back and won't refund my money. I know I shouldn't have paid it upfront, but I've been going here for 7+ years and figure they were good for it. What should I do? Okay. Now, I've never heard of a person paying for a tattoo up front. Normally you put down a deposit and you pay for the tattoo at the end of the tattoo. Any reputable shop will say, put the deposit. They'll tell you what the total cost of the tattoo is. You put the deposit down to reserve your appointment time. And then the final payment is at the end of the tattoo. They give you what the tattoo costs, right? Based on how many hours it's going to take to do the tattoo. The longest amount of time it has taken for me to do a tattoo was, I think, 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. The shortest amount of time was a quick 15-minute one. It was a touch-up on one of my current tattoos. So it can go. I know people that have had to do multiple hour-long sessions to finish up work because they're getting the whole back done, or they're getting the whole chest done, or getting the whole quad or calf done. And it's really intricate. But in none of these situations has somebody had to pay the full price up front, because you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what the final product is. You're putting down a deposit to reserve the appointment. If you don't show up to the appointment, you lose the deposit. That's what a deposit is. It's to make sure that you're going to arrive to your appointment, that that artist has set aside that amount of time to do the work for you. You don't show up to the appointment, you lose the deposit. But this young lady, I'm going to assume that she's young. This young lady knows that this tattoo is going to be 2 sessions. And if it's $800, that sounds about right. That's a 2-session tattoo. And that's probably about 6 hours worth of work. It might be, nowadays at these rates, it might be 4 or 5 hours worth of work, because the cost of ink has gone up because of inflation. I learned that from a tattoo artist. But yeah, so there's going to be 2 sessions, and the artist just decided not to do the second session. Now, there's got to be something else in the story. Maybe it was a bad experience. Maybe, she smelled bad. Maybe she was disrespectful. No matter any of those scenarios, her money should be refunded. As somebody who runs the day-to-day operations of a semi-major business and has his own businesses on the side that he does, you might not refund all the money based on if it was her fault or the tattoo artist's fault, but you're going to refund a large portion of the money. You would say, well, he already did the 1 session, so there's $400 left. Say you take out 25% for administration fees and time wasted. So 25% of $400 is $100. So you refund her $300 since you're not going to finish the tattoo. No matter what she did, if she did something, no matter what she did, she should be given a refund for the money that she put in for something that she's not going to get. There was a follow-up, because a lot of people on the Reddit said, hey, you should file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. You should go on Google and Yelp and write the reviews of your experience. The worst case scenario, if they're not responding to any of these things, you should file a small claims to get your money back. She followed up and said she had done all of those things. And then the tattoo artist contacted her through text and said, hey, stop doing this. I'm going through a tough time right now. I got a kid on the way. You're making things horrible for me. I'm not going to do the second session. Leave me alone. By that point, I was like, no, you're not. The tattoo shop and artist is not right in any of this way. Because no matter what she did, if she did something, I repeat, she should get a refund. I don't really know what you're talking about. So, ma'am, if you're listening, which you might be, I don't know. You might be. If you're not, then maybe this will find you. Maybe somebody that you know is listening to this and says, hey, isn't this your store? And yes, I'm talking about you. File that small claims. Take it to court. It's a shame that a place that you've gone to for 7+ years would treat such a loyal customer like this. And aside from really doing some foul-ish, I don't understand why they wouldn't refund your money. The Better Business Bureau would have got a handle on that and been like, hey, what is going on here? Why is this money being refunded? So I'm super curious, and I will be scouring Reddit to find out any additional information of this particular scenario, because I'm fascinated by the story. But what I'm really, really taken aback by is having a bad tattoo experience. If the artist is a new artist and they're doing tattoos for the first time, typically those artists don't do great tattoos. They're not horrible, but they're new. Like, a new barber is not going to give you as good of a haircut as somebody that's been doing it for a while. A new barber is not going to give you as good of a haircut as they would after they've had more experience. They're going to get better. The more times you do something, you will get better, even if you suck. I'm not saying there's some tattoo artists out there that suck. Yeah, there are some out there, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying even if you're good, you're going to get better the more that you do it. And this scared me for people out there when they get tattoos to read the story and they were on the fence about getting a tattoo and they're like, well, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a bad experience. I was on the fence when I first got my motorcycle license for years. Now, it wasn't that many years, but for years it was, I don't want to get in a wreck and be paralyzed. That's like the worst thing that could ever happen to me. That's a legitimate fear. And I got on the motorcycle and you know what? I got in an accident. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I lived, I survived. I was lucky. I lived, I survived. But before I got into that accident, I was just fine. I had been riding for a long time and I was just fine. And the reason why I got in that accident is because I was doing too much. The accident was all my fault. I was doing too much. Bad experiences or hearing about bad experiences, I hope that doesn't deter people from doing something that they might actually enjoy. I don't regret not one tattoo that I have on my body. My mom doesn't regret not one. My sister, not one. My bestie, not one. My dad, not one. Like, we don't regret them. I don't know too many people that do, if they have multiple tattoos, that do regret them. Not overall. They might be like, I was young when I got this heart tattoo on my ass. I probably wouldn't get it now, but it's not like I hate it. I had a woman, I dated a woman, she might be listening to the show, that had a smiley face tattooed on her booty. And the reason why I know is because she showed me. Because she told me that she had the tattoo. And just to see her booty, I was like, well, let me show the tattoo. And she showed me. And it was a smiley face. And she had a big booty too. I'll never forget that booty. Smiley face booty. Anyway, that was her nickname. Anyway, I talked to her. I met her when I was in college. And I knew the last time I connected with her was during the pandemic, just to catch up to see how she was doing, which is what a lot of people did. And, the tattoo came up because that night that she showed me, the tattoo came up because she'd always called me crazy for the way I asked to let me see the tattoo. When she was like, I knew what she was really asking for. I was like, yeah, I wasn't slick about it. And she was like, yeah, no, I don't have any regrets of this. We were 40. At this time, she doesn't have any regrets. You don't have any regrets. But a bad experience can leave you with regrets. I feel sorry for this young lady. I know she's been going there for 7 years, so she's going to get more tattoos. But for anybody that's listening, if you've been thinking about getting a tattoo, you know what you should do? Get a temporary tattoo of the tattoo that you want, where you want to get it. One of those long ones, one of those ones that last about 6 to 8 weeks, and walk around with it. Half the time, I forget I even have tattoos until I'm taking a picture or I'm walking around. I'm like, that tattoo looks real cool. Yeah, it does look real cool. So if you're thinking about it, and this is anything in life, take that chance. Get that motorcycle. Get that tattoo. Go skydiving. Take that cross-country trip. Take that trip for that European vacation. Take that month-long cruise. Take a chance. Take a chance and don't let other people's bad experiences stop you from living your life. If y'all haven't figured it out, that's been the theme of today's episode. Live your life. Live your life. And on that note, I want to remind everybody once again, we'll be releasing another sibling happy hour, but then next Friday and the following Tuesday will be no shows. We'll be back December 6th, and jump on our YouTube page for YouTube exclusive stuff as we're on this little brief hiatus. Because, even if you don't want to watch the whole episode, we have clips of the episodes on the YouTube page, shorts of the episodes on the YouTube page, and some YouTube exclusive stuff, specifically only found on YouTube. You might catch a clip from our Patreon shows on the YouTube page. So definitely go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends, family, and even your enemies. And on that note, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew, that was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling genuine and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace. Freedom over fame. Freedom over fame.